Hi there, Serial Trader here. Let's check in with the major US indices and starting off with the wave chart here on SPX. So it looks like we may have this wave 4 low in place. At this point we've started establishing a little series of highs, higher lows, higher highs. I believe this was a slightly higher low. Let's see here, 28.66.78 versus 28.66.44. So ever so slightly another higher low, and then obviously another higher high with today's action, and then just a little bit of sideways consolidation towards the end of the session. So, and we are, starting to break the lower high pattern we were in. See, we had a lower high, and now we've broken that. So definitely this downtrend appears to have been broken, and it looks like we're now starting a new uptrend. It's quite early, but there's, once we get to the candlestick chart, I'll point out why I think it's likely we now have a hard low to work from. And, just going off the channeling here. So if we do something like this, not super clear, we haven't really cleanly broken out of this channel yet, although that could easily happen with a decent day tomorrow, with a little follow through after today. And as far as Fibonacci goes, so if we do a count this as one ugly wave up, this is our first retracement, and then we're going to project up the equality and the 1618 relationship. Let's see where that takes us. And it looks like we're just kind of hovering around. I mean, we slightly exceeded equality, but not by a whole lot, kind of dancing around there. Again, if we get another jolt up here and hit the 1618, or at least get well above 1, we don't have to hit the 1618 before another pullback, but it's kind of the common objective for a third wave. So at that point, this will be a more confident pivot, and that we're working this fifth wave up as it's currently labeled. I think a good chance we do have the pivot though here at 28.64.12. So let's go to the Thinkorswim candlestick chart. And the reason why I like that we may have a pivot in place, even though it's quite early to say that as well, we have a nice bullish engulfing candlestick, a close above the T line here on the daily SPX candlestick chart. Looks like our stochastic oscillator kind of found a low right in this range where it found a previous low over here. Okay, and now it looks like we're about to turn up from that. Again, finding really nice support off this 20-day simple moving average. Just couldn't seem to get past that, especially on a closing basis. So yeah, bullish engulfing candlestick. That's a legitimate, reversal candlestick. So that's why I'm liking the idea that we've completed this wave 4 pullback, and now we're heading up, inevitably take out the old highs here. So what I did was towards the end of the day, when I saw that, okay, it will definitely close and be a bullish engulfing, I bought a few contracts, just the ES futures contracts, and I'm just not a huge contract size overnight, just swinging 3 contracts overnight, and my stop is just below the most recent low, and the numbers will be a little different on the futures, but the important message here is that the stop should be below our most recent daily low here, okay? And that would have been from, let's see, today's Tuesday, so that would have been from Friday's session last week. All right, and then obviously intraday, as I see, little patterns and trends, that's why I go considerably bigger, and of course I use tighter stops when I'm doing the futures action. All right, so that's SPX, bullish engulfing, definitely looking for continuation to new highs. Dow Jones Industrial Average. This was interesting. So yesterday on Monday there, we actually had a bearish engulfing candlestick and a close below the T line after kind of a doji day, or even a series of doji-like days. So I thought, well, that could be bearish, but it has some follow through. And then initially today, it did open lower. We even started going lower. That was right near the beginning of the session, I believe. But then quickly coming off, again, that 20-day simple moving average on the Dow here. That's proven to be good support in this case. And didn't do a bullish engulfing on the Dow today, but certainly a good recovery from the intraday low, and still a close well above the T line. So if the S&P is going to go up the new highs here, I don't imagine the Dow is going to be left too far behind. It still has quite a positive uptrending chart here. And we're again back above the daily T line as well. So Dow looking pretty good. And okay, NASDAQ composite. Let's have a look here. And yes, okay, NASDAQ composite. So the NASDAQ composite definitely was dancing around its 20-day simple moving average. Got a little bit out of this channel, but not really in a critical way. I was suspicious we might come down just have to touch this 50-day simple moving average. Didn't even do that. And look today, we did a bullish engulfing candlestick on the NASDAQ. And I think we closed just slightly above the T line as well. The oscillator looks fairly bottomed out compared to a previous pivot over here. Didn't get quite as oversold, but here we are and looking ready to turn back up. So NASDAQ definitely looking for continuation and to challenge the old high there of 81.33.30. So everything's kind of lining up in a bullish way here. And certainly was anticipating that, but just wanted to let it kind of prove itself before getting too overzealous with aggressive positions. Now going to the volatility index, as you would expect, it's calmed right back down again after failing to have any kind of real breakout. So we had a little bit of upside here on the VIX. Couldn't even break out of this previous resistance level, which came in at 1686. We only got as high as 1563, and now we're right back down, closing near the lows of the day for VIX, and we closed at 1322. So VIX still very much in a non-threatening state as long as it's not in its uptrend, and it's not. It's in a sideways to slightly downtrend at the moment, which is quite bullish for equities as long as that stays in place. All right, well, that should be good for now. We'll check up later in the week, or certainly at least on the indices. We'll check up after the close on Friday, maybe on the weekend, unless something really, really interesting happens. But I would imagine we'll just, for the rest of the week, likely just have some bullish continuation. May or may not actually challenge the highs this week. Wouldn't surprise me, though. All right. Serial Trader signing off.